Hmm. All right. So far, team compositions, what we got here is a Rumble in the top lane against a Vladimir, which is going to be a very interesting matchup. That new Xin Zhao, though, the new Xin Zhao, that's going to be great against the Warwick in the jungle.
Mhm.
Mid lane, Xerath versus Yasuo. That matchup is now. I know people tend to be like, this is. Sorry, hold on, I got you. It's not on automatic. That's why. All right, got it. People tend to be like, "Oh, this matchup is terrible for Xerath." I don't think it's terrible for Xerath, honestly. I think this matchup because the Yasuo wind wall doesn't block his W or his Q,
Mhm.
so I think it's pretty good matchup. Unless he stands near his minions, and then you've got a Twitch against Caitlyn and a Lulu Tarek. So how do you think that? All right, in the bot lane, how do you think the Lulu Tarek matchup is gonna go though?
Okay, so Terra Caitlyn is like a season one, season two really dominant lane. During the before the rework, and the reason that it's good is because the stun used to set up the Caitlyn traps, and so it's possible for Caitlyn Tara to really stun lock someone. But Lulu is really good at disengaging that, right? As long as she's not the one getting stunned, she has the ability to polymorph Caitlyn and mitigate all of the damage from that combo. I think this is going to be another one of those cases where the mechanics of the supports are going to dictate the pace of this game. Caitlyn's going to obviously have some early game harassment here if she plays it right. She's going to be able to poke out the Twitch and the Lulu. We see there she gets a headshot in.
So
That she's going to have to do that for a while to really get that damage to stick. So she's going to have to play this early game because later it's going to come down to mechanics.
So one of the important things to point out is Yasuo swapped with Vladimir.
That's right.
So he's in the top lane apparently. So I think that matchup is actually really good for Yasuo. So
I think that's also really good for Yasuo as well. I don't know if they plan that or what.
Ooh, there's a stun that you were saying.
Yeah, we see
there's a
that
headshot. Yep. Oh, Exhaust gonna trade back. The damage is gonna burn him down. Exhaust, good job not to flash there. Ignite coming in onto the Yasuo. Flash gonna get burned. Xin Zhao gonna pick him up. Oh my god, I love Xin
Beautiful
Zhao.
flash. Beautiful flash by the Xin, seeing that the Q was coming out. Rumble didn't, I didn't know if they communicated that or not, but that was a really good mechanical play from the Xin. Definitely reactionary, saw that coming, and had a really nice mechanical play there.
Gonna have that 1v1. I think the Warwick does not want this. Oh,
I don't
good
think he wants it
placement
either.
though. And he's gonna flash out. All right, Xin
Gets
Zhao,
the
man.
flash, but now he's surrounded.
He's Xin Zhao. He is Xin Zhao. Don't worry about it. Oh, good dash over the wall. Gonna avoid a lot of that damage. Vladimir gonna land a slow though. I think that's enough. The fear is gonna come down and woo, boy.
Strong mechanics out of the Xin there. Not really good decision making though, being a little bit greedy and going for those Krugs back there.
Oh boy, that was. Yeah, I think like you were just saying. I think he should have just walked out after that.
Yeah, I definitely would have, should have counted that as a win, walked away, and gone to, clear the rest of his camps. But now Warwick is going to take away his wolves.
And early level. That's what maybe about a third to half a level of XP.
Yeah, it's really strong from the Warwick here. Probably going to go up, either get the gank or get the Scuttle Crab here. Looks like he's calling for the gank up top, so we're going to see possibly a dead Rumble in the next few seconds. He still does have flash.
Rumble is overheated. He's gonna go in with the flame spitter. He doesn't see the gank coming. Apparently doesn't
Gets
see
the
that on
fear.
the wards. The fear is gonna land, and Rumble has flash, doesn't use it, which smart play by him.
Yeah, definitely was going to die there. Didn't have a ward out and should have known that Warwick was on the top side, at least taking the crab there. So kind of a weird decision by Rumble to extend like that.
So one of the things I want to point out is, as I was saying, he doesn't see him. There's a ward in the river.
Oh, so he saw him coming.
So he saw it coming, yeah. Because
Okay,
I thought too.
For some reason, I thought that was Yasuo's ward. So
Yeah.
no excuse for the Rumble here to get killed by that. Definitely showed some aggression at the wrong time and didn't watch the minimap.
Oh, look at the upfront damage by the Zenja. He's gonna get stunned. That is a 1v2 because his lane was not close enough to help him. Oh man. Oh man. Great play by that bot lane. Man, Rage Machines.
They have that combination down. The stun came out and Caitlyn let down another beautiful W. They definitely have played this comp before, and it looks like that they know what they're doing.
That hurts so bad. I mean, you see him coming in, and you're just like, oh, it's Xin Zhao. He's gonna do a lot of damage. And their bot lane on Poop Handle Patrols was like all the way back by the tower when he came in.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one of those things where if you're not going to be in comms, if you're not communicating with a jungler, you really have to watch the minimap and watch your own damn jungler and see where they are.
I really that's one of the things that I like in bot lane is that when you know your trade, you can kind of say like, all right, if we get ganked right now, their lane's not close enough, or if a jungler comes in and they're like, we can gank, and you're like, kill this guy, just kill this guy. And that was kind of that situation where it's like,
yep,
they can't help him, kill this guy. And now he's going to be a lot more reluctant to come bottom again.
Now this Xerath Vlad situation is going to be really tricky. So Xerath is going to have the ability to push really hard, but he's getting pushed in here. He's going to try to do his best to push it back. But Vladimir, because he doesn't have to use any mana, is going to do a pretty decent job of making sure that these lanes do get pushed. Kind of a tricky situation, but Xerath did buy as his first item pieces to to Morello. Yep. Definitely a smart pick for him because it solves two issues. First, it solves his mana issues that he's going to have in fighting Vladimir, but also second, it's going to fight against the massive healing Vladimir naturally does with his Qs and all of his spells.
Oh, you have to deny that. You have to deny that Q.
Good damage by Xerath here. That was a lot of free damage that Vladimir didn't have to take. He's obviously going to heal it back, but it does sort of have to, it forces him to play passive and maybe even forces him to not push anymore.
There's a pretty large CS lead crewing in the top lane there. I think Rumble is actually, and I don't think it's just, he's losing it to tower or whatever. I think he's actually, avoiding a gank there, sorry. I think he's actually just not timing his flame spitter very well. I think he's probably not that experienced on Rumble, it looks like.
Yeah, I've been looking at his flamethrower, and using that is actually really tricky. So if you've never played Rumble before, it is actually kind of hard to CS with your flame spitter up. Because it does such little damage over a long period of time, it's really easy to miss CS with Rumble.
No, yeah, you're 100% correct, and usually you'll see that dropping. And I mean, you're going to be coming up on a 20 CS lead in the top lane, and like you were saying, Xerath is doing well. He's doing a good job, and right now, the poke that he's putting down is not going to. Oh, Xin Zhao coming in again. Going to run in. He's going to get the W down.
Good stun from the Tarek.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Though.
They're not close enough. That's a 2v1. They could maybe turn. Nope, it doesn't look like they want to. If he lands his tornado, he's going in. Yasuo's going in for that last breath.
Yep.
It's like Lee syndrome. He's going in.
Yeah, they walked up to the Xin with the ult. Really easily set up the Yasuo there.
Equalizer gonna make that Warwick not want to fight this. Oh, get baited. Oh, get baited.
A life steal there from the Warwick, not really caring about the flame spitter there in the end.
Yo, balanced. Balanced. Look at that.
Definitely a mistake by Rumble, not respecting the fact that Warwick had ult, not respecting the life steal that comes out of it.
Yeah, his equalizer. Oh, Tarek gonna land stun, has ultimate. Exhaust gonna go down there. Gonna keep vision onto the rat, but Caitlyn's gonna not be able to pick this up. Oh,
she misses the Q. I don't know why she went for it. I don't know if she had vision of that or not, and she was forced to throw her Q out. But a really strong play by the Targ there, holding the aggro just until the end of the turret, and making sure at least Caitlyn has a chance.
That was a... Oh, Vladimir has Ghost. That means he's looking for that kill. Gonna take a bunch of damage. He does have ult. He should be able to finish him off. He was looking for it, but...
Needs a moment here because he knows that Warwick is near.
Oh, it's gonna be low. So low. I think Warwick's just gonna kind of sit around here and make sure that Vladimir doesn't die.
Xerath is being super smart here, really being patient with that art. He knows that if he presses it, he's going to be stun locked in a position where Warwick is simply going to walk up and kill him. Knowing that he's there, he had to hold that ult and he can't get that kill. Really smart play there by the Xerath. I mean, definitely good decision making.
Based upon, yeah, I was gonna say, Ellie was saying the same thing. Based upon me looking at the cooldown, I think he used one. Yeah, he used one.
Okay.
Yeah, because that you didn't. Yeah, I had to redirect the camera in order to see that. It never actually went to him because he didn't actually land it. But Xin Zhao gonna be fighting the Warwick again. Oh, Psych still has ultimate, but gonna get dropped down. Yasuo gonna come in. Doesn't have his. Oh, he's gonna not land the tornado. Oh, the tornado! Last second. Vladimir, will he be able to get both? Oh boy. Oh boy. Shuaski was going down in the bot lane, but I'm gonna focus on this Xerath fight. Xerath gonna be able to chase him back.
This is the E.
Oh. Lots of damage and the pool. Oh boy. That's whew. Oh man, I think Xerath's ultimate is bugged as well. It is showing that it's on cooldown still, so I believe that's an animation bug.
So here's a really interesting thing about the Xerath. I think Xerath probably would have gone Ghost or some other summoner spell if he had known that that Vladimir was mid. Because he thought the Yasuo was going to be mid and there was a good chance of that, he went Barrier in order to mitigate some of the Yasuo aggression. So he's kind of down a summoner spell here. Yeah, I don't think he's used Barrier once, and because of that, he's basically just a summoner spell down.
Yeah, 100% there. It's really sad when that happens and you get that little like matchup swap, and like you're saying, it's oh my god, the damage coming out. Trap is just so close, gonna miss. Multiple fights breaking out here. Yasuo is still trying to punish. Gonna go in last breath. Gonna land another Q. Is he gonna dive? Oh, didn't even have to dive. Wow, the cooldown on that thing is quick right now.
Really easy play from the Yasuo there, basically just landing everything, the Qs and the Es and his ult, in order to really secure that kill. Bottom lane, Lulu did a really good job of stacking CCs there. The exhaust goes down immediately onto the Caitlyn, and then ults Wild Growths the turret.
Vladimir looking for the dive on the turret here. Turret's ultimate gonna come through. Vladimir's gonna pick up one with a pull, and I think they're gonna pick up two, maybe three. Vladimir can stay in for this entire time. The transfusion's gonna drop him down. Turret gonna trade over his life though, and I think, oh my goodness, whew, Vladimir. Holy crap. Vladimir with a triple kill. That's not a good day for him. Auto him, Xerath, he can't get out.
He does have the ult.
Oh, missing him. I'm not even looking anymore, missing him. Warwick looking to dive.
Warwick smells blood here. Gets the ult.
Ooh, plenty of damage.
Caitlyn has ult.
Caitlyn does have ult. Oh, he's gonna trade it back! And he's gonna live! Oh, man.
Dangerous game, I think, is what saves him there. Did he level up, or was that dangerous game?
That was dangerous game.
So he gets that 5% life back from getting that kill. Saves him from the Caitlyn ult. I think if the Kate had ulted sooner before that kill went through, it might have been a dead Xerath.
Wow. Because it shows he's at just about half XP here. One of two things could have happened there. It could have been just a dangerous game itself, and it also could have been a level up. So they did end up killing minions. It might have also
been Barrier. I see that he used Barrier there, so the damage taken by that, he definitely played something.
It might have burst out right at the last second. Yeah.
Yep.
That was, whew, boy. Very nice. Well, either way, good job there to getting that back, saving himself. That's what you like to see. Oh boy.
So let's take a look at this vision really quick from Poop Handler Patrol here. They have vision kind of passively placed. There's some in the tri-bush. I mean, there is one sort of in two in the river, one from the Scuttler and one from that ping port. But they're not really setting up vision here in order to mitigate a lot of Rage Machine's aggression. Yasuo getting another free kill.
He's gonna. I was just gonna say, getting another free kill.
Really no surprise at this point. This Rumble's shown that he's, not really looking at the minimap, might be tilted,
and
might
he has
be
CDR boots.
I don't know if he doesn't know how to play Rumble, doesn't know how to play top. He's 21 CS behind, giving up 5 kills in 15 minutes here. So definitely struggling there. He's starting to get armor, and it looks like he's finally realizing that he needed to rush Hourglass.
Yep, got to get that Seekers at least.
Might be a little too late. So picking up one piece, that first piece of the Hourglass actually gives you, I think, half an armor point per kill, CS kill, up to a certain amount.
Plus 30 base,
Yeah, so that's 15 armor plus the 2 that he would have gotten off the 2 cloth armors there.
Yeah, just a small trade going out there. Ellie, I'm not gonna rotate them. Thank you. Ooh! Gonna face check. Xin Zhao he's gonna do a lot of upfront damage. I don't as I say, I don't think the Yasuo knows that Xin Zhao does that much damage.
Warwick also misses his ult there. He sort of face plants into the wall and does nothing.
Look, it happens, okay? It happens. You got it. You potato
Performance
sometimes.
anxiety.
That's right. You potato sometimes. You just
came a little short.
That's right. Just a little bit. Look, it's not his first time. It happens to everybody, okay? Every guy.
It does. It does. He drank too much and kind of happens. So this mid lane, Vlad's ghosting.
Ooh, Vlad. Gets stunned. Oh, pull. Nope. Yep. I was just gonna say the ultimate's not gonna come through fast enough. Pull too early.
Morello's there also really kicking in and making sure that Vladimir takes damage and stays down.
Oh, the flash in. Gonna get that CC and
Nice sidestep.
Get obliterated. Just obliterated.
Yeah, Xerath is definitely gonna get pretty fat here, especially against the enemy comp that doesn't really have a tank. I mean, they have Warwick, who has bruiser items. They have Vladimir, who is going to benefit from HP. I'm not really sure how these late game team fights are going to go with Xerath being ahead. He's building MR for some reason. I guess he's afraid of Vladimir, but I don't think that's the correct choice.
Yeah, you don't need to be that close at that point.
Exactly. If you're getting hit by Vladimir, you're playing that ranged champion incorrectly.
And one thing is very interesting is that Vladimir is not going, because you usually see them go a little tankier, especially in mid lane. They'll pick up Spirit Visage. He's not doing that. He's actually getting Luden's Echo next. Oh,
that's right.
So he's got that little bit of HP from the Proto Belt. Oh, okay. Yasuo's gonna get collapsed on here. We're talking about the before. He can't mitigate anything with that wind wall. Twitch just gonna pop out rat-tat-tat. I love spray and pray though, and just gonna clear the wave. I think they might be able to push here now that they don't have Yasuo with the wind wall.
That's one of those syndromes with a lot of Yasuos and a lot of players in general who get ahead and don't really know what to do with it. He goes into the enemy jungle without a whole lot of vision and expects to pick up some kills there. A lot of greed.
Oh, Vladimir Proto Belt flank. Gonna land his ultimate out. Gonna get that pull down. He's gonna come across. Gonna finish off that Twitch. And Lulu's gonna die as well. And they're just gonna kill the Xin Zhao. They got down the Tarek ultimate. And let me see what the name of that thing is so I can stop saying Tarek ultimate. What is that? What is that? Cosmic Radiance. Thank you. Cosmic Radiance going to be able to secure everything there and take absolutely no damage in that team fight.
A little bit of weird team synergy here going on from Rage Machines. Yasuo teleports in, but they do this weird 1-1-3 split where Vladimir's going top and Warwick wants to get Rift Herald.
Oh, the Caitlyn! Wow, the Caitlyn flank onto the Xerath who was channeling his ultimate like you were saying before. Super risky. You get rooted in place and just gets picked off.
And right there, to finish off the Rumble, another beautiful combo by the Tarek Caitlyn. Tarek sets up the stun, and she immediately traps afterward, getting that free CC and free headshot.
Wow, like, it really right now looks like, look at Rift Herald was getting picked up. Like, it really looks like their bot lane was just saying, okay, listen to us now. We're going to make plays around here. We're going to tell you what to do. It's almost like different people are, like, at their computers right now. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a weird team synergy. That was so crazy.
That was a really weird play. I mean, that they got greedy. So what happens when your Rage Machines is, okay, we have two choices. We can either really safely secure that mid turret, or we can go and get some other stuff at the same time. We can get top turret and the Rift Herald at the same time. What ends up happening is they only get the Rift Herald, and they don't even get the mid turret, and end up giving up 2 kills. I think because it's so early in the game, that sort of decision making by the team is what's going to really run the risk of losing the game in the end.
Yasuo versus Xin Zhao again. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Yasuo, as you were saying, got a very, very strong lead against that Rumble in top lane. And now
doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, doesn't know. He just died to a 3-7 Xin Zhao. 3-7.
Yeah, definitely losing his lead. I mean, yeah, Rumble's easy pickings, but that Xin is not an easy pick. Yeah, he has 7 deaths, but he's going to do pretty well in that 1v1 matchup, especially with no creeps around for Yasuo to really use that mobility that he has in order to win those fights.
So it looks like there's a bunch of pings going down onto the dragon here. Xerath's going to look to try and pick that up. Not going to be able to do so, but you know what? You tried. That's all I can say. You tried. Vladimir pops Ghost. Proto Belt's in. Gonna get knocked up by Lulu. Good disengage. See, that was exactly what you were talking about even in lane with Lulu. Just being able to deny damage that comes down and to save her carry.
Yeah, she's got a shield, she's got a polymorph, she's got a knock up, she's got exhaust, she's got slow with her Q. She's got so many ways of making sure that Rage Machines don't get the engage that they want.
I think they're gonna rotate here. Never mind, minions are going to pick that up. I was going to say, maybe they're going to rotate to just finish off that last little bit on the turret, but that last minion got it.
Now, here's what's interesting. We have almost a double kill advantage for Rage Machines, but the gold differential is only maybe 8,000.
Yep.
With 2 outer turrets still on the table for Proof Handler Patrol, that's a lot of gold left.
Oh, the basic combo again! Ooh. That combo.
No vision there for the Xin. No reason to walk in there. They know that they're pushing on the top lane, and he goes into, I don't know, look for a kill, maybe possibly ward. He doesn't have to do that, knowing that they're pushing top. They're going to be top. They're going to be in that area. No reason for him to walk in.
Oh, Tarek taking a bunch of free damage. Going to get put down. Rat-a-tat-tat over the wall, and Xerath going to be able to finish him off. Man, Arcane Power just wrecking him. I was just going to say, it's pretty funny. You mentioned one combo. Gonna open up onto her. Gonna use heal to chase, but not gonna be enough. Vladimir's gonna get the Xerath on the back side of this. Pops his pool. Gonna actually dodge the Q from the Xerath there. Next Empower Q is gonna be able to keep him alive. Morello's still ticking on him though. He needs to get out of there before the Rumble finishes him off. Gets a shutdown. Yasuo gonna finish off the Lulu. Twitch invisible, but I think they just realized they hit him. And he's going to get killed off by that Caitlyn. Not going to trade that back. And this could be in him again.
Pretty good team fights there from Rage Machines. Really capitalizing on the mistake by Poop Handler Patrol. Again, they don't have vision in that jungle. There's no reason for them to really walk in there. They have that one on Rom, but not really providing a lot of information about where everyone is.
We're going down into the Xin. The tower's just going to go down in time. And Yasuo trying to dance away. Gonna get killed by that one tower shot he's gonna take, but is the Warwick gonna be able to finish him off? I don't think so. Gonna overextend, possibly gonna get picked up on the backside. That's gonna turn it around, and they don't get the inhibitor. The greed, so strong.
Yeah,
whoa!
The easy player. What? Whoa.
Caitlyn netting to the wrong direction. Oh boy.
Silly play from Lulu there. Should have given over that kill to Xerath. Caitlyn had nowhere to go. Would have been really easy for him to pick that up, knowing that Xerath also has ult, so he's gonna land one of those 4 with just 1 hit left. So she ends up taking double buffs and a really big kill off that Caitlyn.
Vladimir's just pushing bottom, getting that wave in position here. They've already got that threat on the top side of that tiny little minion wave that's pushing that way, but it should be able to push itself out.
Kind of doing what he should be doing with that kill lead, but and also Luden's Echo. So we talked about that briefly earlier. It's going to be not that great in team fights, but if you're going to be split pushing, the Hextech belt and Luden's Echo is going to be really quick at shoving lanes out, especially with that huge spell rotation.
Yep, Vladimir going to be able to burst somebody out really quick, and we've been seeing it. You know, when he does show up into a team fight, he's heavily isolating one person and trying to chase them down, and usually it's ends up being like Twitch or Xerath that he ends up flanking, and he's got that upfront damage with that Luden's Echo and that Proto Belt.
So definitely going for the bursty build with Luden's Echo and not really going for the HP CDR builds that we see with a lot of other Vladimirs, because what most Vladimirs want to do is really get that spell rotation in with 40-45% CDR, because that's where their damage is, because they don't have the constraint of mana. But with his build, he's really looking for some sort of upfront kill, and he's kind of playing the way he should, going into the back or going into the side and really getting flanks on priority targets like Xerath.
Almost playing like an assassin, Vlad.
Really interesting. I think he can get away with it this game, especially with someone like Xerath all the way in the back.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. And I like that you made that statement. That is, it's very much, it doesn't have that constraint of mana, so you're actually looking at trying to get as many spell rotations as possible. And usually, if you have Zhonya's, you can get 1-2 rotations, rotate your pool in, and then get another rotation before you have the Zhonya's, and then pools back up again.
It's still an option for him later. I think it's something that he really needed right now, especially given their comp.
Oh! Had to flash out of that stun. The Vladimir getting into the team. Oh, Jesus Christ, that damage is going across. The Xerath's going to get picked off by that Warwick ultimate. Infinite Duress going to put him down. Caitlyn right on top of that. Tarek's stuns have been on point all game long. Xin Zhao going to get focused down. And at the same time, Rumble's going to die again to Yasuo at bottom. I think they should be able to just rotate over and... Okay, they're going to stay in mid lane. They should be able to get a lot off of this. 30 seconds on everyone except for the Twitch.
A lot of scattered fights there. I think it was possible for Rumble to group up with the team and maybe even take out the majority of Rage Machines here. Really stuff that mid engage and maybe even let Yasuo take that bottom turret. That's a really difficult decision for a lot of solo queue players to have, because if Rumble had that ult in that really big team fight, it might have been enough damage for them to really win that, and then just simply sacrifice bottom turret. You wouldn't have lost a lot of people for that. You wouldn't have lost an entire inhibitor and turret mid lane.
Yeah, it's very much like we were saying for the last game. Like, you have to know what you give up, what you defend, and to make that choice quick. Because when you get people that are wishy-washy and they're just hanging around, that's when you start to increase their amount of losses.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, those kinds of decisions are really hard to make, and at this point, Poop Handler Patrol is going to have to really decide what they want to keep and what they want to defend. Looks like their top turret is still down. They don't really have a lot of vision in the jungle. They have some towards Baron side. They don't have vision of Baron at all, really, except for that one little ward outside there. It looks like Rage Machines are going to go for Dragon. This is going to be free for them.
There's about a 4K gold lead between, or 3.5K gold lead between the mid lanes, and just about 3K gold lead on the AD carries. That's pretty large.
That's also actually really interesting because Rage Machines has a 10K gold lead. That means the majority lion's share of that is split between the two carries.
Yeah, that's where I'd want it. That's where I'd want it.
Exactly. Yasuo being aggressive in the enemy base by himself.
Tornado, oh, Flash gonna land. Vladimir gonna burn some resources. They're gonna ultimate onto the Rumble. I don't know if that's, I mean, they're gonna win this, but I don't know if that was the best target. I guess. Yasuo gonna get him for last breath right at the end. Pretend he's doing something.
Definitely a one-sided fight there. They're getting away with a lot of aggression and a lot of bad decisions here, simply because of the fact that they're ahead. Yasuo and Vladimir, face rolling the enemy team here by ghosting and rushing forward.
Yeah, it looks like that face rolling is gonna be able to secure them the kill. Vladimir and Caitlyn gonna be able to carry this one through. Yasuo doing a good job in top lane early, but making it a little more difficult of a game than it needed to be.
Definitely gave up a lot of free kills that game, right? Like, he goes into the enemy jungle, makes a lot of really bad decisions, and it seems like a lot of the kills that he nets isn't so much because of his good decision making or mechanics, but simply because the enemy team is making a mistake. So he's trying to catch someone out there by making mistakes of his own, and in the end, it just becomes who wins in terms of the lesser of two evils, right? You have this hyper aggression of Yasuo in going into a blind enemy jungle versus people like Xin walking in and trying to 1v1 them. So a lot of that top fighting ended up being really messy, really low elo stuff there, not really securing a lot of vision to do that. Because people in high elos do actually do that. You see a lot of Diamond 1 Challenger games, Masters games, where Ribbons, Yasuo's, and other really aggressive top laners will go into the enemy jungle and pick up kills, but that's granted that they have some vision. Yasuo's doing it blind.
Yeah, you usually see that, especially like you're saying in pro play, where if they're pushing their lead and they shove in their laner, they just walk down, they'll go by the enemy blue buff or red buff, whatever it is, and they'll just place a ward there, walk back up. So the next time they know the jungler walks past, they say, hey, you know what, this guy's 2 levels behind me because I'm winning my lane. They just go in, pop them, and come back to the top lane with a red buff, and it's even worse day for that top laner.
Yeah. In the end, Twitch also having a really hard time. So he went Infinity Edge first into Hurricane, which isn't really my favorite Twitch build. I'm not really sure why he went for that build this game. He knows that Vladimir is going to be stacking HP, and he knows that Warwick is also going to be pretty tanky himself. A lot of Twitches will go Hurricane Bork for the AoE lifesteal and also the ability to drop tanks. Well, not tanks, but off tanks like Vladimir and Warwick, who are going to have a lot of HP. So it's kind of a weird build here from him. He wants to go RNG in order to really do some damage, but not really sure that was the right way to go for that.
Yeah, I think as far as when I'm talking about defensive options go, there wasn't much to talk about, honestly, on Poop Handler Patrol side. Like, what do we have? We have Zhonya's, which, yeah, you're going to build that. It's kind of an essential item. But other than that, like, Xin Zhao, he only had tabbies. The Xerath, who, did build the Banshee's Veil, probably didn't need that Banshee's Veil at that time. If it had been invested into, I don't know, what do we want to say, even a Luden's
a Death Cap
or a Death Cap, right?
Yeah,
that you would have seen a lot more of that damage go out, and maybe not so much of the we're just going to be aggressive, because I mean Death Cap and Morello and Omicron just alone. What's the death? Okay, so he could have, if he had saved that little bit of gold, and then he may have not had a blasting wand, so he would have had Death Cap instead of Banshee's Veil, and he would have had Haunting Guys. So with double pen, Morellonomicon, and Death Cap, that would have been enough. If you hit a Caitlyn just with like a single Q, she'd probably be at half HP.
Yeah, the only problem with that build is that he doesn't have a lot of spell rotations for the tanky Vladimir and the Warwick. I can see why he's thinking about Leandries, but I don't think that small percentage damage is going to be enough either. So I think the proper thing to do is bite the bullet on trying to kill Vladimir and Warwick in the front, and instead build huge damage for their backline by poking out the Caitlyn and Yasuo and making them really think twice about coming in.
I actually like the Morello into Rylai's, because I think, especially when teams have no option other than to just like run at you, you have a lot.
Right.
It gives you a lot of control, and it's kind of like with Vel'Koz, where you already know you're kind of immobile, and this goes back to him having barrier because he thought that he would be against Yasuo, but because you're immobile, you get a little bit of the tankiness, and anything that you land possible is just going to slow and keep the team away from you. Or if you decide and you say, hey, you know what, this Caitlyn or whoever is out of position, you easily just, start ulting, and the rest of your team just runs at them, and there's no possible way that they could avoid your ultimate at the same time as trying to get away from your teammates, especially with that slow going down onto them.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a stronger play from Xerath there to really dictate the pace and the shape of these team fights. Right. So I think going Banshees is for him the wrong mentality. When we talked about that in mid game, when he started building Enmar, and him thinking, oh, I need to make sure I don't get killed by this Vlad. I mean, all he had to do was stay really far back, even within the range of his very large ultimate, and do damage from there. So I don't think that was a really smart play from him. It was possible for them to come back, but with Twitch being so behind, and Rumble he's not really sure what to do with this champion, it might have been difficult to come back, but it definitely would have given them a greater chance of winning. And that's really all that matters in solo queue, right? Like, if you can increase the chance of your team winning by even 5% or 10% over the hundreds of games that you're going to play in ranked or in solo queue or even normals, that extra 10% or 5%, just by altering your decision making, is going to net you a lot of wins in the long run. And when it comes to ranked, it's those kinds of decisions that might just eke you out those wins, even if you're losing.
Yeah, and that's one of those things when I saw, besides, someone can have a bad laning phase, and I say, okay, if you die a couple times, it happens sometimes. But when you are, especially on Rumble, there's no actual reason, and you do benefit from it, but there's no actual reason for you to directly be going and building CDR, because you always will have that constraint of being able to cast your 5 spells and get locked out, and you get into full heat. So other than I can use my ultimate a little faster, there's no reason, if you're going to go a different kind of boots outside of penetration, for you to go into CDR boots. You should be going, if you wanted that tankiness, you can go Tabby, so that he can, stay alive a little longer, considering most of their team was AD outside of Vladimir. If you want to go Merc Treads, you need that, that's fine. But if you're getting bodied that hard in lane, and you're just going to go, okay, look, I'm Rumble, I'm low econ. You finish your Leandries, You have Zonya's, you have your second pen item as far as boots, whatever it is, and all you have to do is land Equalizer. You land Equalizer, you do so much damage, especially with no one on the other team building any type of MR. It doesn't matter how far behind you are one of the lowest econ champions in the game.
Yep. Definitely a good point, especially the point about overheating. So a lot of rumbles. I'm not really sure why he built those boots. I can't give him a really good reason as to doing that at all. If he wants to go offensive, there's only one choice. It's Sorks. And if he wants to go defensive, especially against a Yasuo in his lane and a Caitlyn that's running away with the game, he needed to go Ninja Tabbies. A lot of tops, bruisers, or if you're a tank, if you see a Caitlyn in your game and you see her getting running away with it, and you're doing fine against your laner, even if they're AP, the right choice of boots is Ninja Tabbies. She's gonna kill you with her headshots. She's gonna kill you with her crits, and the 10% reduction on her auto attack damage is going to be big when it comes to her critting you for 800 or 600 damage even, because that damage mitigation ends up being huge. Up front, you get to take away 60 of that damage, not including the armor that you gain from just having that item in the first place.
See that? Take note, stream. Take note. That's your tip for the day. If there's somebody on the map who can kill you, build to beat them. That's your tip. Okay, take it. So you're gonna take away from this. That's what you're taking away.
Yeah, I mean, Yasuo was a threat too, so there's no reason not to get Ninja Tabbies here. I think if I were to choose between Sork Boots and Ninja Tabbies, and I were in that Rumble situation where I'm falling behind, but I know that I can do really great things with my ultimate, even if I am behind, the correct answer is to go Ninja Tabbies. Especially if you're going Rylai's first, right? Because if you're going Rylai's first, you're doing that combo where you walk up, overheat, hit your Q, and hit Zonya's, so that your Flame Spitter does damage while you're in stasis. So he's thinking, I'm going to be up front, I'm going to be doing damage to their front line, and so he needs to have some sort of durability there, especially in order to be consistent with that build that he's thinking about.
I want to comment about that and say that is one of the most troll things to do on Rumble. I love Rumble, and doing that, I have my 60 or 80 heat Flame Spitter on, and everyone turns to kill you, and you're like, Sonya's!
Yeah, just wait out, wait out that period that you're going to have some other spells back by the time your Zonya's is over, because you cannot cast when that's triggered, right? And so you do get to do more damage, auto attack damage, but you shouldn't really be auto attacking with Rumble. Let that Flame Spitter do work and hit that Zonya's and troll them.
Oh man, that game was fantastic. You know what? Vladimir did his job. That's all I can say. I mean,
he did, with a really weird build, right?
Yeah.
That Ghost, I'm gonna rush you and go for your backline build instead of that kitey DPS, Rylai's cooldown reduction build that he has.
And then
he can be real nuisance with that build.
As the game was over, he switched to Trinity Force Bloodthirster.
Yeah.
Nice. You can imagine. That would be crazy. Your AD Vladimir. AD Vladimir. Yeah, right? Bloodthirster. I wanna try, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this again, is because of the change back to Gunblade, what that's like on Vladimir now. Like, because I know the fact that his E is the damage is based off of you having HP. If Gunblade is too much of a loss going that way, or if having that Gunblade is like how it used to be with like Woda, where you just did a bunch of damage and you got all that health back. I mean, it's 20%, so I understand it's like 33% off of an AoE attack, but I wonder if it's
I think Hextech Proto Belt builds out of the revolver, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Okay, so he does get the effect of that from the Proto Belt, I believe, and so there's no real reason to get the slow from going. What's the other part of that? Cutlass? Is that right?
Yeah, it's Cutlass. Yeah,
I'm not sure if Cutlass is going to be really good, because as you pointed out earlier, he ends up spending that gold on stats that he's not really going to. In that 80 damage does nothing for him in terms of scaling, right? So I like the Proto Belt build on Vladimir. A lot of pros are doing it to really pick up that spell vamp. It does. I believe it does carry over into Proto Belt. I always forget the exact stats.
So the Hextech Revolver is 40 AP and it does the auto attack damage. So
hmm
if you auto, you get the 125 magic damage, and then the proto belt itself is basically just the dash forward, get the little bit of burst. Now, the biggest thing about that is that the proto belt is fairly cheap. Proto belt is only 2,500 gold. So
Right.
you're talking about, and I think that's one of also the biggest reasons is that you're getting 300 health, you're getting 60 AP, okay, and you're getting 10% CDR, which already is fantastic on Vladimir. You're getting some mobility from being able to dash forward. You do a little bit of upfront burst damage. So 2,500 gold for stats that you know 100% that you
hmm
need. And
hmm
then if we're looking at the Gunblade, you get 20 more AP, but like you said, attack damage, you're probably not going to use too much. Um, and then the biggest thing that you're getting out of that is very similar to the Proto Belt. You get the little use where you can do a little bit of damage and slow onto someone, and you get the
Yep.
15% damage dealt as healing. So
Yep.
basically, you make yourself more like tanky through draining spells.
Right.
But I don't know if, and like we said, you're trading almost 1,500 gold because of Cutlass.
hmm
So 1,500 gold worth of stats for that ability to heal for 15% more.
Right. And I think the right decision is instead of Gunblade being, I mean, the cost of that is so high, right?
Yeah.
One thing, if you are Vladimir and you want to get extra spell vamp, a lot of them are going Spirit Visage, right, to get that extra
Yep.
30% return on all of their spell vamp in the first place. It's a lot more affordable. It's within the price range of Proto Belt. It's like 2,500, 2,600.
Yep.
And it also gives him all of the stats that he needs, right? He gets a lot of HP. He gets 10% CDR, which is really great on Vladimir. He gets that MR, which is nice against whoever you're up against that might be doing magic damage. And it just kind of gives him everything that he needs.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at stats and you like how much gold it costs and things like that, like with the after Spirit Visage being buffed because it was already good before to
Oh, yeah.
30%, you just think about it and you're like, okay, so like 30% of whatever his ultimate hits, you get that heal for.
Yep.
30% of his transfusion, his Q, is going to heal him up. And the only thing that you don't really get healing from, obviously, is his E. But with the health that you're getting, the 450 health, and the 10% additional CDR on top of that again, you're getting rotations of spells, as we were talking about before. Plus,
hmm
you're getting more damage onto your E, which when you have about 40% CDR, is only about a 3-second cooldown.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
pretty massive.
Yeah, and you also get that. I mean, let's not forget 450 health from that item,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's 2,800 gold, and you get so many, 450 health, 55 magic resist. You get that base health regen too. A lot of people forget about regen on Vladimir as well. If you're going to get, I mean, yeah, the extra life steal is great, but if you're passively regenning in lane or between team fights and skirmishes, you can really increase or shorten the amount of time that it takes for you to heal up and re-enter another skirmish with more HP.
Yep. The what is it? Gains 2.5 bonus health and 140% bonus health. I'm trying to just look at his passive to see. There's 140% of that. The 2.5% of that is how much? Well, I'm just saying numbers. 450. Okay, so it's just the Spirit Visage itself. It contributes about 12 AP just off of the
Mhm.
health it provides you. So 12 AP, not amazing, not terrible.
Mhm.
And the amount of damage that you get off of his Tides of Blood with that is roughly about the same as that.
Mhm.
So that's minimum. That's the minimum damage is 2.5 of percentage of maximum health. So
Mhm.
you're legit stacking up that for an additional minimum of 12 to 15 damage. And let's see.
Yep. I mean, that's on top of other items that you're getting, right? Like Proto Belt, that's giving
Yeah.
300.
And then it's maximum. And most of the time in team fights, you're charging that. There's
Mhm.
there's no I'm gonna release it early. So it's 6%. So that means that you're probably awarding yourself 40 more damage on that spell just by having Spirit Visage.
Yep.
Plus the AP, which is
Plus the
100.
cooldown.
Yeah, plus the cooldown. So with the health that the ability power it's giving you, plus just having the health for the E modifier, you're probably getting 60 more damage onto that spell just by building Spirit Visage.
Yeah, and a lot of, this is for a lot of low elo players. DPS is measured by damage per second, right? It's two parts. It's damage over time. And if you're not really going to increase the amount of flat damage you do, one thing you can do is increase the amount of time in which you can do it. One obvious way of really strengthening that is cooldown reduction, but a non-obvious one is increasing your durability. By having extra HP, you might be able to get 1, 2, maybe even 3 more spell rotations off in a team fight, and that really increases the amount of damage that you do. That's why sometimes you'll see Maokai's doing these massive, seeing these massive damage charts in the end. It's not because that they built damage or anything. It's because they're able to live for so long in fights. They get to have 10 spell rotations on their queue in order to really get that damage out. And so a lot of low elo players, I notice, again, want to see those in-game stats where they see, lots of upfront damage and doing lots of bursts, but they're not considering, okay, well, what am I giving up for that? Right? I'm giving up the amount of time that I'm in a fight. I'm giving up a lot of DPS, right? That ends up being really crucial to winning a lot of those skirmishes.
Yeah, this is pretty good to look at stuff like this after the games and you just think like, oh, yeah, Spirit Visage. And like you said, it's always someone looks at it and they go, well, I get this much health. But it's like, no, you're Vladimir. You get, like we were saying, 60 more damage later on. Later on, once you finish it. 60 more damage onto a spell that's on a 3-second cooldown. And, if you're Vladimir. You're in the middle of the fight regardless.
Right.
And your spells are always going to be on cooldown because you're just rotating. So if you have a 3-second cooldown and you use that in a total of, 10 seconds of a fight, which is more than reasonable, you've already done what? An extra 200 damage to everyone you've touched in a fight.
Yep.
And that's just off of that spell alone, not counting the fact that, anything else that's on there, his ultimate, boosting everything by, 20% or 15%? Yeah, 20%. So on top of all that stuff, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's an extra 1,000 damage. I mean, that's a Tibbers. That's a, that's a Lux ult that you get just for being up more in a fight. For being alive, you get to do more damage. And so definitely a big lesson to a lot of lower elo players who think, well, I'm Vladimir. I'm going to get the Ludens. I'm going to get all of this upfront damage. I don't need durability. Durability is damage.
And if you're going to, pick a champion and complain that there's no tank, well, you're Vladimir, you can fill that role just by redirecting a ton of damage onto you at that point, soaking it up, benefiting from your ultimate, healing you back up in a pool, and trolling people with Zonias. That's fantastic. Man, I'm going to have a bunch of stuff to upload today. Hey, man, we're doing good data analysis here.
Yep.
Good stuff. We've got this guy, Mr. Max, if you want to hit it. He's 5 minutes into a game.
Sounds good. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, let's do that. Hey, Ellie, where are you, man? Are you home? Sure, he's probably playing Divinity. I want to get that game, but I don't have anybody to play that with, so it would be pretty funny, though.